Respect is not built when things are comfortable. It's built when tension enters the room, when pressure rises, when expectations clash, when someone challenges you directly or subtly. That's the moment your real level is revealed. Anyone can look confident when nobody disagrees. Anyone can speak smoothly when there's no resistance. But the second tension appears, most men collapse internally. They smile to soften the moment. They joke to reduce pressure. They explain to defend themselves. And without noticing it, they lower their own rank. Respect is not earned in ease. It is earned in discomfort, in the seconds where silence stretches, in the seconds where someone questions your authority, in the seconds where your heart rate rises, but your face remains steady. That is where status is decided. Most men are addicted to comfort. They want smooth conversations, easy validation, no confrontation. But comfort does not test character, and without testing, there is no proof. And without proof, there is no respect. When tension enters and you remain composed, people recalibrate around you. When tension enters and you rush to calm it at your own expense, people subconsciously lower your position. The mistake most men make is confusing likability with authority. They believe avoiding conflict protects their image. It doesn't. It exposes their need for approval. True authority is revealed in how you handle pressure without emotional leakage. No overreaction, no panic, no defensive energy, just controlled presence. Respect grows when others feel that you are stable under tension, because stability under pressure signals strength, and strength signals leadership. Comfort hides weakness. Tension exposes hierarchy. Tension is the filter that separates men who perform confidence from men who possess it. When the atmosphere changes, when disagreement appears, when expectations collide, when someone challenges your decision, your nervous system reacts instantly. Heart rate increases, breathing shifts, muscles tighten. That physiological spike is normal. What matters is what you do next. Most men rush to escape that spike. They talk faster, they justify, they soften their tone. They try to restore comfort immediately. And in doing so, they trade long-term respect for short-term relief. Respect is built when you don't escape tension, when you sit in it, when you allow silence to stretch without scrambling to fix it, when you hold eye contact instead of looking away, when you respond slower than the emotional tempo of the room. That delay is not weakness, it is regulation. And regulation signals power. High-respect men don't eliminate tension, they manage it. They don't dissolve pressure, they absorb it without visible instability. That absorption creates gravity. People feel it, not because you dominate the room, but because you don't flinch inside it. Comfort-driven men always look for the exit. They avoid hard conversations. They avoid direct feedback. They avoid necessary confrontation. But avoidance teaches others something subtle. This man bends under pressure. And once that perception forms, it is almost impossible to reverse. Tension is not the enemy of respect. It is the proving ground. It's where boundaries are clarified. It's where standards are enforced. It's where tone is set. If you compromise your standards to reduce friction, you send a signal. My comfort matters more than my position. And that signal lowers rank instantly. Strong men understand that discomfort is not a threat. It is data. It tells you where you need to stand firmer, where you need to speak clearer, where you need to slow down instead of speed up. The room watches for instability. The room listens for cracks. The room senses hesitation. And when none appears, when tension rises and you remain measured, authority increases without you saying a single aggressive word. In the next part, we break down the exact behaviors that build respect inside tension instead of collapsing under it. Respect is not given to the man who avoids friction. It is given to the man who stays centered inside it. And here's what most people miss. Tension is not always loud. Sometimes it's subtle. A pause after you speak, a raised eyebrow, a sarcastic tone, a delayed response. These micro moments are silent tests. They measure your internal stability. If you rush to smooth them over, you fail the test. If you over-explain to fix the energy, you lower your standing. If you laugh nervously to reduce discomfort, you signal insecurity. High-respect men understand something critical. You don't have to win the moment. You have to hold it. Holding the moment means allowing tension to exist without trying to erase it. It means answering directly instead of defensively. It means staying upright instead of shrinking. It means keeping your voice steady when others raise theirs. That steadiness recalibrates the hierarchy instantly, because emotional control is rare, and rare traits command value. Comfort-driven men cannot tolerate unresolved tension. They need closure immediately. They need reassurance. They need to restore harmony fast. But fast harmony often costs long-term authority. When you rush to restore comfort, you position yourself below the pressure instead of above it, and respect always flows upward. Another mistake is mistaking aggression for strength. Exploding under tension is not dominance, it is instability. True authority is quiet under fire. It does not escalate unnecessarily. It does not overreact. It does not chase validation after conflict. It stays composed. And that composure creates psychological gravity. People trust those who don't wobble under stress. Leaders are not defined by calm days. They are defined by tense ones. The man who can withstand discomfort without emotional leakage becomes the reference point in the room. Others adjust their tone around him. Others slow their pace around him. Others measure their words more carefully, not because he demanded respect, but because his stability forced recalibration. Tension exposes hierarchy every time. The only question is, do you rise in it, or shrink inside it? Here is the truth most men don't want to accept. Respect is not earned by being comfortable. It is earned by being stable when things are not. You don't gain authority in agreement. You gain it in resistance. When someone disagrees with you and you don't flinch. When someone questions your decision and you don't rush to defend emotionally. When someone raises their tone and yours stays steady. That is where respect begins. Not in applause, in pressure. Comfort never forces you to prove anything. That's why it feels good. But because it doesn't test you, it doesn't elevate you. No one measures your character when everything flows smoothly. But the moment tension enters, the moment the room gets heavier, everyone starts watching. Not consciously, instinctively. They look for cracks. They look for instability. They look for hesitation. And the smallest visible shift can redefine hierarchy. High-level respect is not built on charisma. It is built on emotional regulation under stress. The ability to slow down when others speed up. The ability to pause when others panic. The ability to speak directly without raising intensity. That kind of composure signals something powerful. Internal order. And internal order creates external authority. Most men lose respect because they try to eliminate tension instead of managing it. They apologize too quickly. They soften their stance too early. They backtrack to reduce friction. And in doing so, they communicate something subtle but dangerous. I need comfort more than I need position. Once that message is felt, recalibration happens instantly. You move lower in the hierarchy without anyone announcing it. But when tension rises and you remain structured, posture steady, voice controlled, pace deliberate, something shifts in the room. You don't need to dominate. You don't need to intimidate. You simply don't move emotionally. And that immovability creates gravity. People anchor to it. They trust it. They follow it. Respect is not loud. It is observed. It accumulates in moments where you could have reacted, but didn't. Where you could have softened, but didn't. Where you could have escaped discomfort, but chose to hold it instead. Each of those moments adds weight to your presence. And presence, over time, becomes authority. Tension is not something to avoid. It is something to train in. Seek controlled discomfort. Have direct conversations. Hold boundaries calmly. Practice slowing your responses. Practice steady breathing under pressure. These are not dramatic moves. They are structural ones. And structure under tension builds rank. Comfort keeps you liked. Tension builds you respected. And respected men don't chase validation. They carry stability. Respect is earned in tension, because tension reveals who actually holds the frame. Respect is not emotional. It is structural. It is built on predictability under pressure. When people know you won't collapse under tension, they stop testing you. And when they stop testing you, your position stabilizes. Most men think respect comes from being impressive. It doesn't. It comes from being immovable in critical moments. You don't need to dominate the room. You need to remain unchanged by it. When tension rises and your breathing stays slow, when disagreement appears and your tone doesn't spike, when someone pushes and you don't retreat, the dynamic shifts silently. And that silent shift is power. The world constantly applies pressure. Conversations, negotiations, relationships, work, leadership. Pressure is not rare, it is constant. So the real question is not whether tension will appear, it's whether you trained for it. If you only operate well in comfort, your authority is conditional, and conditional authority collapses when stress increases. But if your composure is consistent across calm and chaos, you become stable, and stability becomes rare. Rare traits attract respect automatically. You don't need to chase validation. You don't need to demand recognition. Your steadiness does the work. The man who does not rush to react becomes the center of gravity. The man who does not soften under friction becomes the reference point. The man who does not overcorrect to maintain harmony becomes the anchor. That anchor energy is what people follow, not because it is loud, but because it is reliable. Respect is not built in comfort, because comfort hides instability. Tension exposes it. And when tension exposes nothing, when it finds no cracks, hierarchy recalibrates in your favor. That is the real frame. Not domination, not aggression. Stability under pressure.